Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes, tamu. Some few days ago, Oscar Peter Nabulindo, Matungu Member of Parliament, dumped Musalia Mudavadi for Raila Amolo Odinga. And he stated clearly that it was the ground that forced him to join Raila Amolo Odinga and Azimio. And some people were doubting that. They had questions about that. Because in the recent days, we have actually been seeing leaders talking of the ground. But actually, if you analyze that ground, then that ground is saying a totally different thing from what the leaders are saying that the ground told them. So, for the better part of today, there is a video that has been circulating. This video shows Oscar Peter Nabulindo clearly asking his constituents in Matungu which side they prefer, in which the people respond strongly telling him Azimio. So in this video, I want us to have a look at Peter Nabulindo having a conversation, a chat with his constituents, after which, as usual here, we are just going to dissect that to see exactly what it means politically. Have a look at this.
Findu vichenjanga nuite no olanyola Azimio ilieno olanyola wheelbarrow ilieno esielano erule Nairobi baru mirembo tiorebe bandu baobe Matungu benya barye benya kutie mu Azimio nomba kutie mu wheelbarrow Azimio kutie mu Azimio aya bandu ba wheelbarrow chinje ho muhono bandu ba wheelbarrow chinje ho muhono
Yes, from that short clip, you can see Oscar Peter Nabulindo having a discussion, a chat with his constituents, after which is clearly told Azimio. There is no doubt about that. And largely from where I sit, I tend to believe that's the feeling in Western, because even leaving that incident alone, in Western from the surveys that have been done, not only in Matungu, but in other parts of Western, it's clear that Western region is pro-Raila Odinga and pro-Azimio. What does that clip, or rather that video, show us politically? What does it mean politically? That's our analysis and discussion right now. So if in case you've just bumped here for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Give it a like, please. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya. I have got 5 reasons that can explain exactly that. 5 reasons. I'll try to summarize them very quickly for you to understand what I'm trying to say. The first meaning to that is that Peter Oscar Nabulindo's move to Azimio is purely people-driven. He has not been bought or induced by anybody to join Azimio, but it's purely as a result of the pressure from the ground. You know, Oscar Peter Nabulindo was elected through a by-election some few months ago through ANC party. A by-election that was seemingly not all that clear, and there was some wide outcry that it might have been rigged. And from that incident alone, folks, it's very clear that it's the ground forcing this member of parliament to join Azimio. And he has not been induced or he has not been bought by anybody to join Azimio. That comes out very clearly. Secondly, Oscar Peter Nabulindo is proving to be a very smart politician here. We all know, ladies and gentlemen, that a majority of elected leaders have not performed. That's a given fact. So this move alone, ladies and gentlemen, it means that even if Oscar Peter Nabulindo might not have performed in his constituency. That move alone is able and can earn Oscar Peter Nabulindo some sympathy in Matungu constituency because he has made the right move at the right time. His constituents in Matungu might actually sympathize with him and re-elect him as their member of parliament because they are seeing this member of parliament as listening to the ground, listening to them. In my considered opinion, that's a clever move, and we might just find Oscar Peter Nabulindo being easily re-elected back to parliament, or rather being re-elected to parliament. That is a very clever move by this member of parliament. He has actually made the right move by identifying with the side that the masses seems to be aligning themselves to. The third point, this is another clear indication to the whole nation that Western, the Mulembe nation, is purely Raila Odinga and purely pro-Azimio. You know, we have been seeing some leaders going contrary to that. And this is actually a wake-up call to any serious aspirant or any serious leader may be seeking an elective seat in Western. In fact, to be elected as a leader, there are two things that are seriously involved. The first of all, the strength of the aspirant itself matters a lot. And then secondly, party affiliation. Those are two factors, ladies and gentlemen, that influences who eventually gets elected. So from this indication, it's very clear that a smart politician seeking any elective seat in Western must either identify themselves with Azimio or they go into political oblivion. That comes out very, very clearly. And I'm talking that way not because of this incident alone, but largely according to the surveys that have been done, largely across Western. Azimio is the party affiliation that a majority of the Mulembe nation identifies with. So this is a wake-up call to any serious aspirant who is seeking an elective seat in Western. Identify yourself with Azimio or you go maybe into a political oblivion. Oblivion, I mean. And then the fourth point, this move also exposes Musalia Mudavadi as a weak leader, a leader with no influence at all in Western. From that short clip, or rather from the way those Kenyans are reacting there, it's almost now clear to the Western people that it's going to be eventually between Azimio and the wheelbarrow. Yes, it's now clear. It's going to be either wheelbarrow or Azimio. So Musalia Mudavadi's political bid, his presidential bid, in my considered opinion, I tend to believe that a good majority of Western residents have now started taking Musalia Mudavadi as just a joker. Because the people in Western, the people of the Mulembe nation, they already know that eventually we are going to have either Azimio or the wheelbarrow. These are the two sides. So Musalia's presidential bid, in my considered opinion, a majority of Western people might not take him seriously. They might just see Musalia Mudavadi as a spoiler, somebody out to settle some political scores, and somebody who is actually not there to represent their interest. Their interests are in Azimio. And then finally, somehow related to our fourth point, that's also a clear indication that the race in Western has now narrowed down to Azimio versus the wheelbarrow. Yes, it's either Azimio or wheelbarrow. So this ANC thing, Musalia Mudavadi thing, that one is not here nor there. It's Azimio or the wheelbarrow. And in that case, from where I sit, and you will likely agree with me on that, that it comes to that, then it's clear where the residents of Western will choose. They will definitely choose Azimio. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that these 5 reasons explains best that clip. Because some few days ago, when this member of parliament announced that he was decamping from Mudavadi to Raila Amolo Odinga, some people were doubting. And they were right to doubt because in the recent days, we have been seeing leaders saying the ground told them. But if you analyze that ground, if you do a research on that ground, then you come to realize that that ground is saying completely a different thing from what the leaders said the ground told them. So this is just an indication that this member of parliament actually listened to the ground and is doing actually the right thing the ground told him to do. So this puts the likes of Boni Alwale and Cleophas Malala in some precarious situation. Why are they going contrary to what the ground might be saying in Western? What drives them to go contrary to that ground? It brings up a discussion that maybe Cleophas Malala, Boni Alwale might be after their own personal gain, their own selfish interest, and not necessarily the interest of the masses, the interest of the Mulembe nation. That also puts a test on Musalia Mudavadi. We know in about 2 weeks' time, Musalia Mudavadi and his party, they will give a direction. They will give a direction. But before they give that direction, it's very clear to them that the ground in Western is pro-Azimio. If Musalia decides to go contrary to that, then it's only a matter of time, and then maybe we shall just see what will happen next. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. God bless Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana. And before I forget, if you just bumped here, let me remind you to subscribe and also give this video a like. To any other person who is also a fan of ours and you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana.